So this is Ice. He is a 15-year-old Morgan gelding. He is owned by one of my clients, and he is a sweetheart. He is wonderful, and I think if I could give every horse that I work with his brain, I would. He just tries his little heart out, and I don't think he has ever said no about anything. He just doesn't say no. He just tries and doesn't always understand, but he always wants to do it right, and you can almost see his little eyes scrunching up and thinking. He just tries his heart out and concentrates and tries to figure it out. So his biggest challenge is that he wants to get on his forehand and kind of run, and he gets really heavy in the reins when he does. He just wants to blast through the reins and kind of fall on his face and run a little bit. So we're just trying to get him to balance himself and carry himself so that we don't have to carry him around the arena, because he can be really heavy, but he can also be really light. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of both, and mostly light today, but I'm sure you'll see. And he likes to jig, so when he runs off, I just make him walk really slow, but from my seat, not from pulling on him. And then once he walks slowly, then we just walk forward again. He likes to kind of jig and anticipate when I pick up the reins. Go boy, Ice. Again, kind of his work ethic of, okay, I know something's coming and I'm ready for it. Good boy. There, he's nice and soft. So I just make sure that he'll walk pleasantly and patiently on the contact. This feels nice and soft here. And then the other biggest thing that we're working on and related is straightness. And when he's straight, or straight on a circle, meaning bending correctly on the circle, then he gets much softer. Good boy. So I do lots of circles with him as part of his warm-up and through the ride. I'm trying to get his shoulder to turn. There, he steps out a little bit. There, it turns. And then I want him to move his hind end off my inside leg. Good boy. So that he bends through his body, and that helps make him light. He wants to get out a little and run through me again, so we'll walk slow. Good boy, Ice. Good boy. And again, I ask my inside leg to push him out. To get him. Good boy. There you can see his inside hind leg steps across, which is what I'm trying to get him to do. Good boy. All while turning his shoulder in around the circle. Good boy. And we'll do a couple circles the other direction. This is his harder direction for the bend. He likes to overbend his neck, but not actually bend through his body. And he tries to trot out of it a little bit more. So again, I slow him down while I still, good boy, ask him to move off my inside leg. And turning the shoulder, good boy. There, he turned the shoulder and he moved off my inside leg. And then you see his neck softens. So when he gives me the bend, everything softens. My connection softens, he stretches more, starts to move over his back better. There, he comes a little out in his shoulder. I'm just going to turn him in, step him out. Good boy. And he's starting to get that and not get as tense and jiggy about it. Turn in and push him out. Good boy. And then we'll take him up for some trot, and same thing in the trot. Trying to get him to turn around that circle. Push his butt to the outside without running through me. And there you see, he kind of wants to speed up, run through me a little. Good boy. And when he bends on the circle, then everything feels nice and soft. Change direction a little bit. There, he wants to run a little on his forehand. Slow him down just a little. And bend, pushing him out. Good boy. And then when he shapes himself on the circle, everything softens again. Turn him in, push him out. Good boy. And in those moments he really moves off my inside leg are the moments that he stretches and he softens. Here he tries to run forward again. A little half halt with my seat. Good boy, Ice. Turn it in and push him out. Good boy. Then change back this direction. There, I have to turn his shoulder in again. And then he kind of falls against my inside leg, so I push him out. So it's a lot of the same thing. Just turning. Good boy. Getting him to step out and turn at the same time. But here he's really soft in my hand, which is great. That's been our biggest challenge. Him not just hanging on the reins the whole time. Good boy. If he gets a little quick again, slow him down. Good boy. That doesn't take any rein there. That's just my seat asking him to come slower. Sometimes I have to take a little on the rein and block him for a second if he's really running through me. I just want to, whoop, there he runs a little bit. But it's more an issue about his shoulder running out than it is about him running faster. So I get him to turn. Good boy. And then that just balances him better. And then he kind of naturally slows himself down. And turning. Good boy. Now that he's stretched a little bit, I'll start to pick him up. There, he gets a little stiff and starts to run. So maybe a transition down to the walk here. Good boy, Ice. And back up again. Lots of transitions are helping him too. Good boy. Trying to help him do a downward transition from my seat without getting down in the hand. Good boy. You see he wants to get a little bit low in that. When he gets low is when he starts to get heavier. Good boy. Trying to keep him up and step under with his hind end, and I'll tickle him a little bit with the whip there. Good boy. There you see he stayed up better. Just getting him, that little tickle reminds him to step under with his hind legs and carry himself up into the walk instead of just doing a nosedive down into it. So thinking about my circle here, turning his shoulder, good boy. Pushing his hind leg out a little bit. Good boy, Ice. And another transition down to the walk. Still turning and bending. Good boy. Good job, buddy. And we'll go a little bit the other direction. Inside leg here, pushing him out. There, he wanted to fall in through that turn. And we do a lot of changing direction. Maybe do some figure eights here in the trot in a second. I want to get this a little more established first. That's better. He also likes to overbend the neck this way, so it's a lot of straightening his neck out. Good boy. While turning his shoulder. Good boy. And then he falls in, and I push him back out again. Good boy. And turning his shoulder. There, good guy. So that his neck isn't as twisted up to the inside, but he bends more through his body and less through his neck. Good boy, Ice. This feels really nice and light and soft in contact. Come down to the walk here and give him a little break. He's also just coming back from an issue in his right front foot, so he hasn't been back to work too long, so we'll give him a few extra walk breaks. Just gonna slow that walk down a little bit. Good boy. So we are back, and hopefully the sound will be a little better. Just tried to tape this headset down, still working out all the kinks here, but hopefully you can hear me at least a little bit. So Ice has had a good break now. Well, we got that all set. And I'm gonna pick him back up, and we'll try a little bit of that figure eight in the trot. Now I'm just shaping him again here, turning him from my outside rein, little inside leg pushes his hind end out. Good boy, Ice. Get him really honest in the bend there, that's it. And then we'll go up to a trot. Keep him turning on that circle. Good boy. There, he wants to get out a little in his shoulder, and that's when he starts to feel heavier in my reins. Change direction there. He did that quite nicely. Good boy, Ice. And we'll just change back the other way again. I just want him to turn in off my new outside rein, move out off my new inside leg. Good boy. That one he fell in a little bit, and he wants to pop his shoulder out going this direction. Good boy. It's a little easier for him to change from left to right than it is to go from right to left. Good boy. He'll change back right to left again. Takes a little extra inside leg on that side. I'm cutting someone off, sorry. Turn him here. Good boy. Down here a little bit. Good boy, Ice. Turn his shoulder again. There, good boy. That time felt softer. I don't mind really if he goes a little bit low at this point. Keep encouraging him to come back up again, but really like that he's soft here, that he's letting me steer him. Good boy. And then over time I'll just bring him up a little bit more, but he just feels so much softer in the contact than he used to. Good boy, Ice. Take him through a couple leg yields here. Ooh, he wants to stop. Good boy. And then leg yield, same idea. I still want control over that shoulder. And he starts going out towards the wall and takes over a little bit. So then I just throw another circle in, get his shoulder to turn for me, and come back to it again. Good boy. He was much more patient that time. Go sideways. Ooh, and he runs out a little bit, so we turn again. Always want to be able to make that circle really easily. And there's a point in that leg yield where we're going sideways where he just kind of on a beeline for the wall in his shoulder. Gets really hard to turn off of it. Good boy. That was easier. So that circle is a good test, a reminder to him to always be respecting the outside rein, ready to turn off of it. Good boy. Better. Even as we're going sideways, I don't want him to blow through that outside rein. Now he's already thinking, oh good, we're going out to the wall. So there, I'll start it with a circle. Boy. Go sideways, slow him down when he runs forward, and making sure I can still move that shoulder. Good boy. There, he runs a little forward, slow him down again. Good boy. I want to be able to adjust my trot in the leg yield, slow him down, speed him up, but if he's running forward, just slow down a little in the middle of it. Kind of gets really excited about this when he knows what's happening. He goes, oh good, leg yields. Again, that work ethic. Sometimes a little bit too much work ethic. Good boy, he just has to wait and only go sideways as much as I want him to go sideways. Good boy. Good boy. That one he let me control a little bit more. Quick little walk for that, and we'll go the other direction. Good job, Ice. Even in the walk, I want him to be bending, especially through this turn here. Turning his shoulder, moving out off my inside leg. I'm still thinking about all these things here in the walk. Now he falls left against my leg, so I push him out a little bit. Good boy. I don't want to have to guard him all the time against falling in, so now I have both legs off of him, and then if I need it, I'll push him out again. But now he's just bending himself quite nicely. And just like when I have him on a shorter rein, it helps him to soften and go rounder. It helps him to soften and stretch on a longer rein when he shapes his body around the circle. Push him out a little here. Turn his shoulder in, and then you see he stretches even more. Good boy. So it's all just shaping his body into the right place, and then it helps him to get softer. Start to pick him up and he'll jig. So we'll walk a little slower. Good boy. And I'll drop him again, and we'll try that again. If they're gonna jig, I like to just fix it and then pick them up again. There, he falls in on the circle, kind of loses the bend, but he's not jigging this time. Just help him find that circle. Good boy. But at least he didn't get as tense about it this time. Oh, there it is. Slow him down again. Good boy, Ice. Good boy. Till he's slow and I can soften and he'll stay slow. Then I'm holding him with my seat, not holding him with the reins. And then we'll drop him again and try and pick him up again. Easy for a horse to fall into jigging when you pick up the reins and trot right away every time. So picking up the reins, and when he thinks trot instead, we're actually going to walk slower. Good boy. That makes him think a little bit that he might not be right. It might not be a trot. But if you always pick up the reins and trot, then in some ways they are right. But that's what's coming. Good boy. But that time he walks for me. I'm going to turn his shoulder a little more here. Really find that circle. Good boy. And then we'll trot into it. The leg yields this direction. Now he gets a little bit lower than I want him, so we just bump up a little on the reins. Just gently encourage him to go up. Whoop. And then we'll just find that bend and softness again. And a little bit of a shorter rein. Let the leg yield this way. Good boy, Icy. And we'll circle at the end of that. A little easier for him this direction. The other way, he really likes to pop his shoulder out. Good boy. Start this off with a circle here. Make sure all my buttons are working fine. Turn his shoulder, push him out. Good boy. That leg yield again. Good boy. There, he's really steady in the tempo. Lets me control his shoulder. Goes sideways really easily, but only as much as I want him to. Whereas the other direction, he's kind of falling sideways. Try a little bit of canter this direction. Hasn't been back to cantering very long after his foot. We're just doing that in short bits right now. Good boy. Again in the canter, shaping him, turning him in, pushing him out. And he gets, good boy. He gets a little heavy in my hand, throwing in some smaller circles. Here he's nice and light though. Good boy. Turn him on a smaller circle. It's good for him anyway. His shoulder, pushing him out with my inside leg. Good boy. And again, really light in the contact. Good job, Icy, which for him is great. He used to just drag me around the arena cantering. So I love that he's listening to my seat better. Go in a little bit of a straight line here. And there you see he wants to run. So we turn him back onto a circle, help him find his balance. Good boy. And a little bit of a straight line again. That was much better, Ice. There he gets a little bit down in front and running. another circle. Turn him in. Whoop. Turn the shoulder a little bit more. Good boy. And I don't want to stick with it too long since he's just coming back to cantering. Good boy. And we'll give him a little rest for that. Good job, Ice. Okay, so he's had a little break here, so we'll pick him up again. Do a little canter to the right. Oh, there's that jig again. Slow him down. Good boy, till he's really light and slow there. Good boy. And I'll drop him and we'll try that again. Good boy. Much better that time. Now I still want to be able to push him out a little bit more with my inside leg here. Make sure he'll look good boy. Step across like that. And turn his shoulder. Just a little tricky to get all the pieces bending right this direction. Good boy. As I come towards the mirror, which is behind the camera, making sure his shoulder turns. Good boy. Making sure I can step his hind leg out. Good boy, Ice. That starts to feel better. Good boy. And we'll trot this direction. And same things in the trot. Turning the shoulder, pushing his hind end out. Good boy. And that feels good. Then we'll ask him to the canter. Good try. That feels really nice there. Nice and light in my hand. Not trying to run through me. Carrying himself well there. Good boy. Not asking too much more of him at this point, since this is very good for him. Turn him into a smaller circle here. Good boy. Challenge him a little bit. Turning the shoulder a little more, pushing his hind legs out. Good boy. Get to the far wall. We'll go a couple straight steps up the wall. See if he holds himself. Good boy. Go straight here. Oh, and there he wants to run just a little bit. Use that circle again. Good boy. To get him bending and get him light. Good boy, Ice. Same thing on this side. Couple straight steps. And he runs down a little in the front. Little circle again. Good boy. As soon as I turn him on that circle, he starts holding himself together. Couple straight steps. Ooh, there you see he runs again. Come on, buddy. Big half out with my seat. Nice and light in my hand. Shaping him on that circle. No problem. Good boy. That was better, Ice. Didn't run through quite as much that time. Good boy. Good boy. That was very nice. Okay, buddy. Get him balanced here. And we'll come down to the trot. Make sure he's bending well on this circle. Turn that shoulder. And step him down to the trot. Good boy. We'll give him a good break for that canter too. Just short little bits as he's coming back from his foot rehab here. Good boy. And there we jig when I go to pick him up again. No surprise there. Walk slow. Nice and light. Even if he halts, that's okay. Just want to stop that running through me. And we'll drop him again. Good boy. And start that over. Good boy. And he has to let me sheep him on the circle. And sometimes when he jigs, it's when I put my inside leg on him to bend him. So he has to accept that that just means stepping out. Good boy. Doesn't mean trotting off. Good boy. Turning his shoulder a little more. Trying to find, good boy, that bend when he's circling right where I want him to be. Letting me turn his shoulder, letting me push his hind legs out. Good boy. And when those pieces work is when he feels much softer in my hand. Good boy. I'd much rather get it by shaping him than by wrestling with his face. Good job, Ice. And over time, he'll just learn to carry himself this way on the circle, so it won't take quite as much reminding. But right now, good boy, he just keeps falling in against my leg or pushing his shoulder out. Just anything to not keep that bend coming nice and smoothly through his body. Good boy. All right, then we'll go back up to the trot. Fell in a little in that transition, so I push him out again. Good boy. I'm going to play a little bit with the trot here. There he goes a little low, so just a quick little bump up a little bit. There, good boy. Pushing him out again on the circle, turning his shoulder. There we go. And then when I get the trot to a place that I like, circle to a place that I like. Good boy. Just going to push for a little bit more trot and bring him right back again. Good boy. Want that to be really adjustable. There he pops his shoulder out again. I want him to keep, good boy, bending on the circle. Good. Not use that extra trot to get away from me and slip out to the outside. That's when he gets strong. Good boy. Reshape him again. And we go a little forward again. And coming back. Good boy. Takes a little inside leg as I come back down, pushing his hind end out. He really gets overly enthusiastic about running forward. A little bit of a smaller circle again. Turning and pushing him out. Good boy. And then we'll go forward again. Good boy, Ice. And bringing him back. Good job, Ice. Let him walk for a circle, do just a little bit of that the other way, and then we'll leave him on that. That's actually the best he's felt, going a little bit forward so far, so that's exciting. Much less heavy in running than he's been. I think he's starting to get on the same page. And again, he's just so smart and so willing that he picks things up so fast. He's really fun to work with. He really wants to do it right. He's a perfectionist. He's kind of a type A, straight A student. All right, so we'll do a little bit of trot this direction. He caught himself that time. Thought about jigging off. Good boy. And again, trying to shape him, turning him in, making making sure he lets me push him out. He gets a little bit, tense about that, and we'll walk a little slower. Good boy. And again, turning him in, pushing his hind end out. Good boy, Ice. Much softer that time, and a little slower in the walk since he wanted to trot there. And soften, good boy. And a little slower. Just want to make sure that I can really regulate the tempo here, that he's not just speeding off into the trot. And turn his shoulder in, push him out, good boy. When he lets me shape him, everything gets softer. Good boy. And that button is getting much more reliable. Helps him feel much softer in my hand, much more over his back, and it gets rid of a little bit of that tension that makes him want to jig. Good boy, when he just lets me shape him. But he's still not totally convinced that my inside leg doesn't mean trot. Good boy. Do a little trot this direction. And we'll play with the trot like we did the other direction. Go forward. Good boy, Ice. And coming back, turning him in, pushing his hind legs out, and there he gets light. When I brought him back, he got a little heavy in my hand. So turning him, pushing his hind end out, made him lighten. And then we'll go forward again. Good boy. And coming back, gets a little heavy again. Turn him in, push his hind end out. Good boy. And then he's nice and light again in my hand. And we'll go a little forward again. Good boy, till he comes back lighter. It still kind of wants to run through that. So again, we turn, push him out. Good boy. And then he carries himself much better there. And one of these times, he's going to think that before I have to make that circle and remind him. A little forward, and back. And we'll turn again. Good boy. In, push him out. There you go, good boy. And that just feels so much lighter. And go forward again. Good boy. And comes back. Ooh. Still kind of wants to run down in my hand there. Good boy. A little bit less determined about it, but still trying to run through me when he comes back. Just has to sit a little bit more and pull down a little less. There, good boy. There we go. That was better that time. Stepping him out that little bit from my inside leg, even on the bigger circle. Good boy. Helps him get his hind end underneath himself. Good, so that he carries himself rather than just asking my hands to carry him. Turn him in, push him out, good boy. And a little forward again. And coming back, that gets really heavy. So we turn, and there's light. Good boy, Ice. And this is his harder direction for everything, so we just have to do it a couple extra times. A little forward, turning in, pushing out as he comes back. Good boy, that was much better that time. And I'll let him stretch for that. When I let him stretch, I want him to stay balanced and not run through me. Good boy, it's a big half halt from my seat there, slowing him down. And again, in the stretch, shaping him a little straighter in his neck this way because he likes to overbend. Just making sure that he doesn't run faster unless I'm asking him to go bigger. Oh, that's all him again. So big half halt here, slow him down, and then soften and let him trot forward. Good boy. Making sure that everything's always really adjustable. Good boy.